Welterweight contender Kaylee Reis. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. How are you?
We're doing good, Mark, and the pleasure is all yours.
I was about to say I'm doing better now that you guys are on.
You ain't lying. Woo.
So what's happening, guys? Obviously, everything going on in the world right now with this coronavirus pandemic. How are you guys making out with all this stuff?
Listen, man, when we see the coronavirus, we're sliding, slipping, and dipping instead of dipping, slipping, and sliding. So we're avoiding everything.
You're avoiding everything. You have a gym in your house, don't you?
I do. I have a gym. This one is staying in shape. I can't keep her out of the gym.
I know.
Apparently, she just almost tore out her clavicle. But we're good, though. That's why we were a little late. You know what I mean? Getting the Skype together. But we're good. We're here live, baby. Mark Abrams Boxing. We're here to promote this site. We hope you get a lot of followers and a lot of listeners.
I've got more followers in the last couple of days because of you guys, and I've probably had in like 10 years in here.
Listen, man, sometimes it be like that. Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. Send that check this way.
Well, we'll see if this makes any money for us first. Then maybe we'll talk about that. So like you said, you've been trying to stay out of Dodge. You guys been getting out of the house at all, or?
Nah.
Listen, man, there's a beehive outside my house on the deck, so we can't go out on the deck. Every now and then we get a little sunlight. We peek our head outside. We run to the supermarket, and we run back.
Now I make sure I get outside. I take walks every day. I go running outside and sit on the deck, but I don't really go anywhere. We make our one little trip to the grocery store every couple of weeks, and then that's it. I can't get home right now anyway. I'm stuck here.
Now, Kayla, you're from Providence, and you've you come down here to train with Brian and Danny Davis and whatnot. During this time, obviously, you probably have family back up there. Is this difficult for you not being able to get back?
No, just as long as everybody's healthy and doing well, which they are. I mean, I'm so used to being away from home right now. Everybody's good, so I'm kind of quote unquote stuck here right now. But this is my second home, so as long as everybody's good back home, I'm okay. I mean, I'm right where I need to be. So. And
Brian, obviously, I know you're pretty hands-on being a manager. Is it? I know a lot of your fighters are from New York, and you take a lot of trips up there. Is it difficult for you to be away from your fighters and not being able to be with them in the gym and check on the goings on of what they're doing with their in terms of their boxing?
It is, man. It's kind of heartbreaking because I am a hands-on type person. I'm a little obsessive compulsive about it. I like to know what's going on. I like to see them training. It's kind of disheartening in a way, but in a way it's not because I still stay in contact with them. I like to keep the open line of communication to all of them. So it's good that I speak to them all the time, at least once or twice a week.
Now, I would imagine most of them probably can't get to a gym. So what advice do you have for them?
Eat right. I mean, you can always do some kind of workout, man. And if you can't, then there's something wrong with you. You can always do a sit-up, a push-up, maybe not a pull-up. You can still go out. You can run. I mean, this girl, I don't know where she's at half the time. She's doing wind sprints. I look outside my house. She's running a hill outside my house. So, it is possible for everybody to do everything, and you can still social distance. Just don't be lazy about it, man. Be smart about it and don't be lazy about it.
Now, do you feel, Kaylee, that you have an advantage over some of your competitors, especially maybe whoever you may fight the first one out of the gate, being that you're able to have most of your training, be able to train as best you can because of what Brian's providing?
I mean, I think I have an advantage whether we're dealing with a pandemic or not because I have one of the best teams, coach-wise, management-wise, all that anyway. So the fact that we're going through a pandemic, but I'm in a position where I can hit the bag because we have a bag here, and I do have a coach here that, if I needed some extra push, yeah, of course. But it's really, we're kind of used to doing this. Of course, I miss doing the pads with my coach, Danny Davis.
Davis.
I miss, the sparring and the actual being in camp-wise because, my fight got canceled a week out, so we were like we did a full blown camp. So I do have an advantage. I know if I was back home in Providence and I didn't have a gym in the house, it maybe would be a little bit tough. But I feel again, I always have the advantage because I'm always in camp mode, no matter what.
We got a couple quick comments here. Vic Starita, 3 of my favorite people in boxing. Wow, I'm blushing now, Vic. I appreciate that.
He really is blushing. He's like turning all kind of pink and thingy.
Joe Cohen says, sis. Is he talking about you or her, Brian?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm his brother. Unless he's talking to you.
He's calling you sis. What up, Joe?
Vic says her big advantage is that she's serious and focused about boxing. I see what everyone's doing online. I mean, I guess people, like Brian said, are doing some kind of, training or staying in shape during this. Did you have a fight scheduled, Kaylee?
Yeah, I had a fight scheduled for the 19th?
16th.
Was it? No, it was
the 19th.
It was the day before your birthday. It was scheduled for the March 19th, and we got the call that 1 week before that everything was canceled. So we were ready to go. It was originally supposed to be for March 12th, and then it got pushed back a week. It was kind of a chaotic show, but they put it together, and then because of the pandemic, it got canceled. So we did a full blown camp. I was here at the end of January, and then I had other things lined up as far as work, sparring. So I figured I'd stay here until everything got canceled. And now I'm stuck.
So listen to this, man. So we were supposed to fight March 12th in Miami, and then the jerk off promoter canceled the entire show. Right? Lou DiBella called an audible. He was like Eli Manning at the line of scrimmage, just calling audible. Stuff going on. There's running backs. There's linebackers trying to come at him. But Lou DiBella pulled off a hell of an audible. Put the card together. Was it the Showboat, right? Mm-hmm. Was it the Showboat in Atlantic City? And I like to say a special shout out to Lou DiBella because in this pandemic, that man, anybody that signed with Lou DiBella, he's willing to give everybody in advance up to about $2,500 to get you through the pandemic. So shout out to Lou DiBella and DiBella Entertainment, man. Not a lot of promoters stepped up like that, and if they did, I don't know about it. But shout out to Lou, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He made sure, they're very personable. That's why we have the illest team. I love the team.
Yeah, we got a bad team, man. It's bad.
Now, where was that fight supposed to be? The March 19th, you said in Atlantic City. Who are you going to face?
Who was the opponent? Because we had to scramble to get a last minute opponent.
It's actually Alma. It was supposed to be originally Alma Abrera, but apparently she has some issues with the Mexican boxing commission out there. They're
cartel.
What was that?
Yeah. So they were basically holding her up for money. If she didn't pay X amount of dollars, she wouldn't be able to fight. So we called an audible, and thank God Dennis Turner from DiBella, who is a hell of a matchmaker, one of the most underrated matchmakers in boxing. He found Diana Santana in the Dominican Republic, so we were going to bring her over, and we were going to do the fight at a catch weight, obviously, probably about at 144.
No, you had it at 42.
42, 44. It's 2 pounds. It is what it is. She's good. She's training. She's in training camp.
Now, how much of a disappointment is it's probably not the first time it's happened. Like you said, you go through a whole camp, you lose your weight, your own weight, the whole 9 yards, and then you get the rug pulled out from under you. How disappointed do you get when that happens?
It's happened. It's boxing. It happens in boxing. I've had somebody not show up to the venue the night of the fight, and it sucks. But I was more upset because this was my first fight under the DiBella Entertainment umbrella, and it was, I was excited to put on a good, really, really good show for my new team, and representing a really, really good boxing promotion company. So I was just more excited to make them look good. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, though. Everything happens for a reason, and we'll get out it. We'll get through this, and I'll be able to hopefully showcase my skills, not after the neighbors.
And Mark, when they pull that rug out, Mark, you don't just say, "Oh, look, I slipped and fell." They pulled the rug out. You take that son of a bitch, you call Latin, and you take a trip on that magic carpet.
That's one way to look at it, definitely, for sure.
Great, Jasmine, relax.
You're with, you mentioned team, and you're with your team with Brian, who is probably the premier women's boxing manager out there, and Lou DiBella, who for years and years has probably been one of, if not the premier women's boxing promoter, definitely in America. What's that mean to you that you'll have that backing, that backing behind you, who takes their time to invest in the women's game?
It means everything, because I don't play boxing. This is not just an Instagram story thing to me. I really love boxing. All we do is sit and watch old school boxing, and to be able to talk to a promoter and my whole team, we're all on the same page. I feel like this is my career is just beginning now. I've gone through my whole career with no manager, no promoter up until I got signed with Star. And then when I got signed by Brian in 2016, so it's been I've been a self-made world champion my whole entire career. So I just feel like my career is just beginning, really. So I'm excited to be representing such a company, and especially somebody like Lou DiBella, who is so passionate and knows and loves boxing. You know what I mean? And
that's the key. You have a lot of promoters that sign females that don't know diddly squat about female boxing. You also have a lot of boxing managers that like to put out big press releases and shit like that don't know anything about women boxing. Listen,
you want to name any of them?
Male boxing. Say what?
You want to name any of them?
Yeah, Peter Khan. He's a very nice guy. He just signed a girl. You pop a girl in the 118 division, you're going to be starving. You're going to be selling oranges on the corner in California somewhere. Don't spit your water out. So it's you have to be strategic at what you're doing in the game. That's why right now, presently, I manage 17 professional boxers. Not because I just want to sign female boxers and put press releases out, because I believe in some of them and I know what they can do in their respective divisions.
Got some more comments from Vic and Joe. Joe says you're one of the nice. Kaylee's one of the nicest people you ever meet. She deserves nothing but the best. So you got both brothers Cohen in your corner. How about that?
Hey man, I'm like an adopted Cohen.
Now, let me just say something about her too. When she said her career is just starting, when I tell you she's the embodiment of a Philadelphia fighter, she's a Philadelphia fighter through and through. You know what I mean? I know she's from Providence, but her whole skeletal system is a Philadelphia fighter, man.
My boxing
Brian, you're actually pretty good at this. That was actually a question I was going to ask. Because how many camps now is this in Philly?
We started we started almost 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago,
so this should probably be, I don't know, camp number 6. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about camp number 6, Mark. And let me just tell you something. Like I said, I've been around the Philly gym since, Buster Drayton, Timmy Witherspoon, Anthony Witherspoon, Gary Hinton, Tyrone Crawley. My father had a boxing gym. She is the embodiment of a Philadelphia fighter.
Blue Horizon, baby.
I actually took her to see the Blue Horizon because I just felt like she needed to see the Blue Horizon before they tore it down.
So what I was going to ask, what's the big difference in the quote Philadelphia gym and the Philadelphia style fighting? That's different than anything that you've known, especially in Providence. And what have you learned being in Philadelphia? In the Philadelphia gym system.
Well, it's funny because I say my boxing soul was born in Philly, but I resonated with Philadelphia, like the family orientation of the gym, because that's how we are in Providence. You know what I mean? I didn't get the one-on-one time like I needed back home because there's so many other fighters. So that's probably the biggest difference. Back home in Providence, we come from Big Six Boxing Academy. We come from a gym full of killers. That's why it was so easy for me to adjust. And just the dog-eat-dog type, dog gym style. I like that. Nobody's a little princess prancing around and doing these little pad work just to do it. You know what I mean? It's hard work. You get broken down. Everybody who comes here gets broken
down. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of fighters. There's a couple fighters that I've had here that just mentally couldn't handle it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And
I watched them like,
and you go from a big fish to a small pond to, you know what I mean, a little fish in a big pond, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to react, so they have a mental breakdown. You got to send them home. Mm-hmm. You want names or give names?
Give me names.
Natasha Spence. She crumbled. Oh, my God, she crumbled.
She went to punching bubbles in Montreal to catching a flight back to Montreal. You know what I'm saying? She literally crumbled with the pressure here because she thought, in Montreal, she's probably the best thing that ever happened to the stupid little boxing gym that she goes through somebody standing on a step ladder blowing bubbles, and she's running around punching bubbles. You know what I'm saying? She comes here, you put a 40-pound weight vest on her and tell her to shadow box. You know, she's got her tongue hanging out like yeah. I mean, so you basically have to tear, and you basically have to tear them down. A female I just had here from Australia, Ebony Bridges, got torn down by Danny Davis. I mean, literally ripped her to shreds, and she survived. And let me tell you something. Very proud of that girl, what she did February 8th in her fight.
Yeah, she impressed the dog shit out of me.
The dog shit.
The dog shit out of me.
I actually would pay to see Danny rip someone apart. I can't believe that. Little Danny?
Oh, he's in his mode?
No.
It's
Danny gets in his little trainer bag, and he starts running from different parts of the gym, and then he disappears, and then he pops up again.
I'm like, oh, Danny's in one of his modes.
Danny's
put
vicious.
this on. Hold that.
And,
I'm like, good lord.
And let me say this. Danny is one of the most underrated trainers in Philadelphia.
I've been saying that for years. I absolutely...
Not a lot of people give Danny Davis credit because they think he's a guy, raps and cuts. Shout out to raps and cuts, by the way. But let me tell you something, training wise and being on the same page, and it's good to be on the same page when you're working a corner with somebody when there's no egos. And that's important when you're working a corner, because I've worked corners where you have a trainer that really don't know what he's doing but won't take my help because you're too proud.
It's much like one of those great football coaches, like guys like Bill Parcells, whatever. You see, he's had a lot of assistants, become successful head coaches. When you're around a guy like Hopkins for 30 years, I mean the knowledge that you pick up, and Danny was involved in that situation for a long time. The knowledge that you pick up, has to be has to be top notch and able to apply it to his own fighters.
And that's what I really fell in love with, his boxing knowledge. And he's a real cool, smooth dude, but he's just full of knowledge, and I love to learn. I'm never gonna know everything about boxing, and people who think they know everything and they won these titles and they just kind of go through autopilot. I'm not an autopilot. I want to learn, and I learned so much. Even now, every camp we learn something different. There's a strategy. There's a game plan. I like that about him, and he's funny.
Yeah, and like I said, we always have a game plan, and there's only a few trainers where I can work the corner with, and we mesh, like Leon Taylor in New York, Marco Suarez in New York, Danny Davis, and Danny is just, I can just mesh with him because he'll ask me what I see, he'll let me talk in the corner. 9 times out of 10 I'm working cuts when the trainer's actually giving instruction, but they give me the freedom to say something. What do you see? And there's no egos in the corner. And when you have that, you have a good team. When there's no egos.
I agree. I agree with you. So, do you spar with just girls, or do you spar with some of the guys down here in Philly?
No, I spar with the guys too. Some of the girls.
Shout out to Isaiah Wise.
I know.
Isaiah Wise was getting her ready for. We had another fight scheduled in England against one of Eddie Hearn's girls. I don't want to say who it is right now because I don't want to jinx the fight. But Isaiah was giving Kaylee some great work.
That was some really, really
Shout out to Isaiah Wise. Team Wise, baby.
Who else have you sparred with in Philadelphia?
I don't know. You guys throw a bunch of dudes in there, throw a bunch of girls in there.
Shout out to Greg Hackett.
I know Greg.
She sparred Greg Hackett one time for a fight, and Greg, let me tell you, don't let Greg's record fool you. Greg is and Greg is going to be one of the top trainers in the next few years.
Yeah,
trust and believe that. He's a funny dude. He's outspoken and he's boisterous. But Greg Hackett is going to be a hell of a trainer.
Nah, he's like one big melting pot of knowledge in the gym, man. I just be surrounded by so much knowledge here.
You absorb stuff like a sponge.
Like a sponge.
We just got Brian. You just got a shout out from the legendary Marshall Kaufman. Says my main man, Brian.
My main man, Marshall Kaufman. I know he had the corona. I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad your son's feeling better. God bless you guys both, man. I'm very happy you guys are doing good, man. Shout out to Marshall. Marshall's a hell of a promoter in Philadelphia, and if you guys ever get a chance to see King's Promotions, go stop and see King's Promotions.
They have a great PR guy too. So
yeah, they do. Yeah, they're handsome.
That's what I'm hearing. So let's delve into the fight. I guess most people know you from the big HBO fight with Cecilio Breakus. It's a fight that a lot of people thought you won that fight. What do you? I know you probably beat it to death already over the last couple of years. So just tell the fans who haven't seen your comments on it. What were your feelings on that fight?
I believe I got the better of her. I exposed her. I realized a lot in that fight about myself. So I mean, I don't take losses and throw excuses out there and oh, it's because of this and because of that. And you know what? All right, I take my loss, but you promised a rematch. So I believe even if it wasn't me in that fight, watching that fight as a boxing fan, as a student of the game, it was a very, very good fight. It was a very well technically fought fight on both ends. I just feel like I got the better of her. And I don't totally agree with the scores, but it is what it is. And I think it's worthy. You know, there's good fights deserve rematches. There's been a ton of rematches throughout boxing history. So why not give the fans and give yourself, if you're the undisputed champion, you know, just hop in there. But she rematched Michaela Lorenz for what? She knocked her out twice. Like it doesn't make any sense. So I'm not giving any excuses for the loss, but I mean, y'all can watch the fight and make your own opinion about it. I just feel like I got the better of her, but from the round 5 on, it was my fight. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Yeah, we got some comments here. Bianca Gutierrez, fans want the rematch. Kaylee dropped her. You dropped her hard in that fight too.
I did, man.
She dropped her hard, and then the next round she did the stinky leg. She did a Harlem Shake.
Yeah, I hit her with the right hand, and she.
You know what I mean? She looked like a bobblehead doll.
I mean, listen to Jonathan Banks. What trainer tells that fighter, listen, she's not getting any weaker, she's getting stronger. Run and hold, run and he said that.
Jonathan Banks looks like a chihuahua shitting razor blades in the corner. Let me just tell you that. If you could picture that, that's what Jonathan Banks looks like. And let me tell you something about Cecilia Breckhouse. What a complete sham and bullshitter she is. 1.5 million people. You say, do you want the rematch? Do you want the rematch with her tattooed eyebrows? And then I can't get a phone call back from Tom Loeffler, kiss my ass. I can't get a phone call back from anybody else. She blocked me on Facebook, Instagram. I can't tweet her. I can't do nothing.
I even asked about I was like, all right, so let me get one of you, Jessica McCaskill. I'll drop down to 140. I don't care.
Well, let's scoot back for a second.
Oh, all right.
Has there ever been any? Forget about serious talks, but any talks about a rematch?
No, the only talk she had was the talk at the end of the fight and say, "Oh, you want a rematch?" Because she was trying to shut up the boos.
Because she got booed out of California, the whole state.
There hasn't been any real talk about it. I mean, we've made videos. We've hit up Tom Loeffler. I hit her up. I mean, we've tried to do every angle, but she does not want a rematch.
360 Promotions did a 180.
Either her team doesn't want it, or she doesn't want it, or collectively they don't want it.
They don't want it.
I know she don't. But if I was her, I would. You know what I mean? If I was an undisputed champ and people telling me that I lost, you know what? I want to prove myself now. You know what? I beat you once, I'm going to beat you again. That's the type of attitude I have.
Robert Cartagena, Kaylee and Brian, do you believe Cecilia's legacy will be tainted if she doesn't fight Kaylee in a rematch?
What is her legacy? Her legacy is she puts a whole stack of belts in front of her, peekaboos every now and then, picks girls that used to fight at 132. Yeah, I do think it's going to be tainted. And anytime you get on HBO, which at the time was the I don't know, man, the Rolls Royce of boxing, and tell people that who wants the rematch with your stupid smile, your fake politician answers, and you don't give a rematch. You don't even answer. You won't even answer a text message.
See, I've been saying this for a while. I think boxing is, it's a classier sport, but it's missing the entertainment value a lot of the time. So something like a rematch, it's a lot of buildup. It's juicy already. There should be a lot of buildup.
Like a steak.
There should be a rematch, but it's out of our hands. We're not the ones that are ducking. You know what I mean? I want the rematch.
Got some more. Marshall Kaufman, agree. Good fights deserve rematches. Brother Joe Cohen again. She's scared to death about the rematch. She wouldn't want to wear 16-ounce gloves. She would want you to wear 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah, we won't even get into the glove discrepancy, but well.
Yeah, it was a whole glove discrepancy, man. So that was another pain in the ass too, man.
Lupe Gutierrez.
If I didn't decide to fight her in 10 ounces, there wouldn't have been a fight.
Yeah.
Lupe Gutierrez at Beagle. Cecilia shouldn't retire without the KO rematch. Jerome Conquest, who we just interviewed, said, "Squad, what's good? B&K." Marshall again. Brian and Kaylee have such good chemistry. There you go.
Let's get it right here.
Bianca, Kaylee, do you want to fight Clarissa Shields if Shields came down to 150?
150. I mean, if the entertainment value, if it's juicy enough, I don't think a fight between me and Clarissa is doesn't have any backup to like build up yet. You know what I mean? I would definitely fight her. That fight's gonna happen, but it don't make any sense right now. She's doing what she's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. But eventually, the top elite fighters are gonna have to fight each other. So that would be a dope fight. I would love to fight her.
You know, a good fight right now would be Kaylee versus Layla McCarter. So Layla McCarter claims to be number one. She's actually is number one. She's actually number one right behind Cecilia Brækhus. So a good fight would be Layla McCarter. You know, unfortunately, Layla wanted to take a fight in Oregon against, you know, iffy competition. But we've offered the fight to Layla and Luis Tapia, who, listen, no problem with them. You know what I mean? I just think that should be the eliminator. You know what I mean? You either get Cecilia or you can get Clarissa. You know what I mean? Because Layla claims to be the best, and Louis likes to, you know, run around all over the country saying that she is the best, and fight her. And no disrespect, she's a good fighter.
I've been saying I want to fight for years now.
And I think it'll be a good fight. And it's not. And see, the messed up thing, Mark, is she doesn't duck nobody. Anybody, she doesn't even know who she's fighting sometimes. I just figure out a game plan. Listen, this is how the fighter fights. What's her name? It don't matter.
Whatever.
You know what I mean? So, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I say she embodies a Philadelphia fighter, man.
Well, where does that attitude come from, Kaylee? Because 99.9% of the fighters, they want to know everything about their opponent and, you know, what color shoes they wear and everything. But where's that attitude? You know, like the one in just tell me when and where kind of attitude.
I mean, it's in my blood. It's in my genes. This is kind of the personality I've always had. Anywhere, anyone, anytime. I've been like a lone wolf my whole life. I've been through a lot. You know, everybody got a story. So I embrace and embody mine. I don't use it as a crutch. I just use it as fuel and motivation. And if somebody bleeds blood and breathes air just like I do, then there's no reason to be scared of nobody. I ain't scared of nobody. I'm not ducking nobody. I didn't get into boxing to be some little cute, pretty little, you know, sit here and play checkers. This is a game. This is not a game. You know what I mean? I'm a warrior. I got a warrior spirit, and that never seemed to be. It's always been second nature to be like that. You know what I mean? I really don't care, especially being. I wouldn't change my career. Because people ask me if you had a chance to have a promoter and a manager, I wouldn't change it because I've built so much more character, and I've learned a lot.
We mentioned about Brian before about how he's, you know, very much the preeminent woman's female manager in boxing. The fact that he was a former fighter, had a successful career, was about 17-2, Brian, something like that.
15-2, 14 knockouts.
Something like that. Okay, I was close.
Knockout down.
But I
should have kept the 17-2. I should have corrected him. Shit. Yeah, 17-2, Mark. Yep.
Yeah, the fact that, you know, he's, you know, been in there and done anything like that. What's that mean? Because, you know, there are a lot of managers who are just, you know, just in it. They're smart boxing guys, but they haven't fought before. Brian has.
It's good to know, to be going through something. It's just to know that he's not just telling me something just to tell me something. He actually knows what it means to do 3 days, do 2 days, to have your toenails hurt, to have to make weight, to have the mental game too. You know, he's been through it. So it's easier. He's very, very relatable in that aspect. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't feel like a cattle, like they're just herding cattle through the game. You know what I mean? It means a lot more. It goes way deeper than just, you know, he's my manager and you fight here, you fight there. He actually knows that's where that game plan comes from. That's where he's real smart. It makes him really good manager, not just for me, but just his whole career of management. Male fighters, female fighters. It makes it a lot better if you've been through it, so you know what you're telling your fighter to do. You know what I mean? Not just because you're just delegating and just pointing, but it's. You know.
And that's the thing, Mark. I think that's where I gain a lot of respect from a lot of the athletes that I do manage, because I'm not one of these fat managers. And I'm not talking about, you know, obese people. Please don't get politically correct on me. But you have a lot of managers that like to sit on the couch and just, you know, again, like she said, delegate and herd fighters into fights. I don't do that. I understand if you just broke up, you know, with your boyfriend or girlfriend. I understand how psychologically taxing that is. I understand, you know, being in the female game, as long as I think, I know you got your period. I know just put 6 pounds on you. I know that stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's definitely I have an advantage over a lot of managers that just tell fighters to get in there and fight. Don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. I think that's where I kind of trump a lot of managers.
Marshall Kaufman, again, the best thing about Brian is he is real as they come.
Listen, Marshall knows the next time Marshall has a show, we're going to be doing some announcing. I'm going to announce all King's Promotion
Give
fights.
me a microphone and some headphones.
Hold on.
Give us a microphone, and we're just going to come out, show up, and show what we can do, right?
Make people shut up.
Hold
Shut
on.
up.
Oh, what are you trying to say? You're pushing me away?
No. No.
Collective
It's a collective bargaining type thing. You involved, Mark?
All right. Just Marshall knows.
I just need a matching pair of headphones.
Yeah,
Is
I want
that-
a pair of headphones.
I want to pair them headphones.
They look like
I got three pair of them.
headphones on.
I got 3 pair of them. Kitty City was having a sale that day.
Yo, it looks like you some Beats from Target.
No, these are great. I mean, these are real.
They look good on you too.
I'm sure they do. So you mentioned girls like Layla McCarty. We talked about breakers. Who are some of the other girls in and around your weight class that you mentioned? Jessica McCaskill. Are there any other girls in and around your weight class that you may be targeting?
Raquel Miller, I'd like to fight her at 54. I mean, I'd like to rematch Hannah Gabriels again. If we can make that Clarissa Shields fight happen at way down the line at like 54 or something, that would be great. I'm tiptoeing around 140. I've heard some chirps down at 140, and I don't like it because I'm not a 140 pounder, but money talks, and I like to school people. So, I whatever makes sense right now. I've been in the game for 11 years. My career's revamped. I just want to, I'm in my prime right now and take advantage of it. But I'm not ducking nobody, trust me. But I'm also not taking crap money for it. I think I've earned my stripes by now. So when people lowball the hell out of me, that's when I shake my head. You got to play that kind of like the balance. You don't want to shortchange yourself, but I don't. He'll tell you, I'll take a fight for free sometimes, but it means to put my ego sometimes. I'm like, nah.
Don't say that too. Don't say that too loud. This question may or may not pertain to Kaylee, but Brian, you got a lot of girls probably in around the same weight class. Would you ever put 2 of your girls in together?
No, I've been asked that before. Not
who would I fight?
No, I'd like to know. No, and that's the thing, because I don't want to be known as the manager that got paid twice. I just don't want to do that. If it's avoidable. I mean, right now I do have the IBF 140-pound champ, and I do have the WBO 140-pound champ, and there was talks of unification. I don't want to do that. I'd like to avoid that as much as possible, because I don't want to be the fighter that herd the cattle in and got paid twice. It's just not me. You know what I mean? Although, yeah, okay, I would be making X percent from this one and X percent from this one, and I make out really good that night. It's just not all about that with me, man. I can't do that.
Suppose in that situation, maybe one of those girls goes out and grabs a second belt, so they have 3 belts presumably for the winner. You would probably hold a big bargaining chip for a full unification bout. I mean,
well, actually, so the reason being why I did go after the 140-pound titles, because that's a Katie Taylor weight class and that's a Jessica McCaskill weight class, who they're promoted by my buddy Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, I heard you guys are like dinner buddies.
Yeah. We text each other every other day. Yeah, but he knows I'm not the one. So, see what I did there?
I see.
Yep. So that's the reason why I did that. And also, I signed another female from England, Sherelle Brown. I have another female who is the WBC international champ, believe it or not, and I have Candy Wyatt, who's 10-1 from Canada. So that's another 140-pounder I could throw in the mix, and we could throw this animal in the mix too at 140 pounds. So that actually is the money divisions: the 135s, the 140s, the 47s, and the upper weight classes. When a few years ago, the 120, the 126s, and the 130s were. So. You got to change with the times a bit.
Now, you mentioned you had Ebony from Australia. You mentioned girls from England. How do these girls get in contact with you in terms of, obviously Kaylee's from Province, which isn't too far. And you have other girls from the United States. How do you? And I guess you got Christina. She's from Greece, right?
Yeah, she's from Greece. So, you have that little stupid app on your phone that says the world clock. I just look at the world clock. I see what time it is. I send a little stupid text message from WhatsApp, or I'll hit them up on Facebook, and that's
slide in the DM.
Yeah, slide in their DM.
But he doesn't answer emails, though.
So here's the
I
story.
didn't even know you even had an email address.
No. See, so
he
this,
could have been my manager, but he wanted to ignore our emails and shit.
oh man, so way back when I didn't know what I was doing, I was promoting fight shows in Philadelphia. So this is going to be a good way for you and me to segue into what's going on with Philadelphia with the Philadelphia writers. So I was doing shows in Philadelphia, and I had Belinda Laraquente fight Lakeisha Williams at the show at the Yesha Hall, and
that catering hall. I remember that.
it was right, exactly.
Hank Lundy fought Christopher Fernandez that night.
He fought Christopher Fernandez. Eric Hunter fought Will Sean Boxley.
Yeah, from Minnesota.
From Minnesota. Yeah, definitely Will Sean Boxley. So I get my
undergrad pizza there that night.
400 Oak Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. So I met Melissa Hernandez, who was with obviously Belinda Laraquente. I started speaking to her because there was a weight issue. We kind of got along. I started managing her, and I was able to get her 4 fights a year, and that kind of snowballed from there. And that's how I got into dealing with women.
And that's how I saw it.
And she saw it.
I saw all that. I was like, oh, all right, I need a manager. I was like maybe 2-0 at the time, 3-0 at the time. So I emailed like, "Dear Mr. Cohen, my name is Kayla Reis, and I'm from Providence, Rhode Island." I had this. Took me like 3 days to compose this shit.
Yeah.
And he just
I didn't
never answered it.
But I didn't know what I was doing because at the time I was still fighting. I mean, I could have answered.
You could have answered. You could have said yes or no. But
I could
it's a yes or no question. So you could have said yes or no. Then when you see him in person, years down the line, we became real good friends just through boxing, but he still wasn't managing me. And then I kind of reminded him that he didn't answer the email. I told him you need to print that shit out and put it on the wall somewhere.
Yeah, I will.
Could have been managing me, dude.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So you said you wanted to talk about Philadelphia, Brian.
I do. I want to talk about who does, in Philadelphia, who's in charge of the stupid Hall of Fame and these stupid awards dinners that everybody gets the same stupid awards every year. It's funny because my father was been managing fighters from 1978, and some jerk off was blocking him from getting in the Hall of Fame. My father managed Gary Hinton. My father managed Tyrone Crawley. My father managed Anthony Witherspoon. My father managed Buster Drayton. My father had a lot of good fighters at one time, and some numbskull thought it was funny or whatever their own personal Idaho to keep my father out of the Hall of Fame.
Did you have a name on this numbskull?
I don't know who it is. I'm asking you who's in charge.
Oh. Well,
I'm asking you. So now
I know the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame is run by the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame is run by a good man, John DeSanto. So
okay.
John,
that's the one that's been blocking my father for years to get in?
Well, I don't know. I think there's probably a committee. So John's a good guy.
Well,
so
you know what? Let me tell you something about this committee. I've had 29 female champions. 29. I traveled to Austria. I traveled to Germany. Who in Philadelphia has been winning titles and fighting all over the world? Yeah, okay, it's female. It's still boxing.
No,
Do I get any accolades? If you give me a little stupid plaque? No, I don't get nothing. I don't get a free bowl of soup at Boston Market from the Philadelphia Writers Association. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you want to keep giving it.
Well, that's the Pennsylvania boxing. I don't know. I don't know in terms of, obviously boxing, in terms of the newspapers and whatnot, is gone. It's gone the wayside. You know what I mean? So
But Mark, I'm not talking about newspapers, baby. I'm talking about the actual stupid events that happen every year here. There's 2 events that go on every year, right?
Well, I know John does the Briscoe Awards. He does a great job with that. I think most of his focus is mostly stuff.
I haven't won any. No, he doesn't.
Well, I think most of his focus is stuff that goes inside of Philly. I mean, you're like, you're internationally known. I mean, I don't know.
I am, and you know what? Which is funny is because one of the most intelligent managers in boxing, split team management, Dave McWhorter, actually had the wherewithal to sign me, and I actually work for split team management now. You know what I mean? Because he sees that what I do for women's boxing.
I heard they have a good PR guy too.
Yeah, they do have a good PR guy. He's a little creepy sometimes, but he's a good PR guy. You know what I mean? But I like you just said, I am internationally, nationally known, whatever you want to say, Mark, and I still don't get no love from my city. And I think that's the problem with Philadelphia. They're so Oh man, they want to see you fail. They don't want to see you come up. My father was inducted, but he was too sick to come because they waited so friggin' long to induct my father.
Oh,
And whatever idiotic committee that they have, yo, they could kiss my ass.
oof.
Yep. Oof. Because I'm not going to get inducted. I'm not going to get inducted for a fighter, a manager, a trainer. I don't care. I'll probably get inducted in New York first before I do here.
You just may. I mean, you spend a lot of time there. So,
I do. I do.
know, I mean, your time will come. You're only 51 years old. You still have
Yo,
time to come.
listen, I'm not as old as you look.
I just turned 40.
Move the corner, my friend. Move the corner.
I just turned 47 2 weeks ago.
That's a big
So
rap.
I just turned 47 2 weeks ago. So
You could fool me. Listen, so anything. So no. So honestly, yo, like I said, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Philadelphia doesn't give Philadelphians enough love. And you know what's funny? You know what?
City of brotherly
Yeah,
love.
it's not true. It's not true because and I am being a little selfish right now because I have traveled all over the world and I've had 29 champions.
How many?
29. Hold on. 29. Pinkies are up. The pinkies are up. 29 champions. I got no acknowledgement. I got a plaque one time that I paid for. I got a plaque one time that I actually had to pay for Salute the Philly Boxers.
well, first of all, don't get me started on that one. So
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't buy enough tables to get an award. Okay, so I guess that's how it goes here. So
I
We got our
guess.
own Philly award
Well,
thing.
you
I'm gonna put my own award.
Vic Starita, he believes that you should be inducted. Bianca Gutierrez believes you should be inducted. Vic, I think, is a little upset that says that Danny Davis, Billy Briscoe, or Steve Cunningham's Cup man haven't been chosen in 15 years in a row as the Cup man of the year. The same guys won it for 15 years.
Yeah, yo, Billy Briscoe.
I love Joey, so
Oh my God, Billy
Like that,
Briscoe, Danny Davis. You look at all these guys, man. Yes, they deserve an award. And I love Joey I. I know who he's talking about. I love Joey I. But come on, man, let's keep it real. Joey I, that's my man and everything. But Danny Davis was with Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? You got Billy Briscoe that was closing up cuts on Gabriel Rosado for years too, and working as a trainer. So and Danny Davis also was working as a cut man for Rosado. So I just think there's so much impartiality and ass kissing. And if you take the Philadelphia writers out of Philadelphia, take them to New York, take them to Vegas. Besides you, nobody knows who they are. They clueless. They're clueless. They're gonna have to buy a ticket.
Anything else? Vic says Philadelphia City, brother of love, where the brothers don't even love the brothers. No, I'm not getting involved.
Whoa,
with
that's
that.
a little crazy.
I'm not getting involved with that.
Love where you are.
So no, I mean I don't have anything else to say. But if you got anything to say about Philadelphia, and if you want to purge something, if you want to bring up a name, I'll tell you exactly what I feel about them. We're all about keeping it real here, me and her. So if you have a question about a fighter,
Anything.
a
Y'all
trainer,
can ask me anything.
cut man,
I'm
a
a PR guy. I think everyone is great. So I mean, I play the game. I mean, that's what I have to do. Everyone's
That's
great.
the problem, Mark. That's the problem. Everybody's playing games here. We're shooting. Pew, 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 pew.
All right. So who don't you like?
Who don't I
Me?
like? Oh, her? Go ahead.
Either
I've been on a tirade.
I don't not like anybody. The only, I guess, fighter wise is two fighters. I think you asked me for.
I asked you this. I interviewed you. I asked you this.
Yeah,
I think you
don't-
watched it.
I lost a lot of respect for Cecilia. I don't particularly like her. And then Maricela Conejo, she cool now, but when we fought 2016 when I won the WBC world title, she had like straight up like dogged the whole fight and said that she got robbed and just her whole demeanor that whole week, and then how she kind of tried to make it look like it was a setup before anybody even saw the fight and all the scores and the judges and all this. And I want to fight you again. You should come here to fight. Before the fight was even out. I mean, we kind of like on level ground now, but I heard she's coming down to 47 too. So if she want to get beat again, she can.
Yeah,
47.
that's right.
But yeah, I have no like I don't not like her. The one I don't like is Cecilia, but I mean that's we weren't really friendly.
Yeah, knocked them tattooed eyebrows right off her head.
Well, I'm talking about Maricela.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Talk to me, both of you. The state of women's boxing. I mean, just by listening, by the amount of female fighters, that you're talking about, you feel that the depth is getting better in female boxing in certain divisions?
Well, yeah, absolutely. From 130 to 160, it's hot right now. It's a really like a great time to be a women's fighter. And it's not even that it's hot because it's busy. It's busy in the talent. So there's a lot of good matchups. And if females, just be a little bit more can get fluctuating with their weight. I mean, there's a lot of really good fights. I think the pond is getting deep. The amateur ranks, the girls coming out of the amateurs, they're talented. It's a lot of talent. So I'm excited that I'm in the mix.
Mark, from the rooter to the tutor, I'm telling you, the female boxing game, it's amazing how much it's grown.
Heavies.
The rooter to the tutor.
Whatever the heck that means.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's amazing how much it's grown, and the crop of females that are going to come out of the Olympics. There's a couple standouts. It's actually Blanca's daughter, I believe, Rupi Gutierrez. Amazing. I never seen a female switch the way she switches. You know what I mean? Better than some guys. O'Shea Jones. I mean, just an amazing fighter. And you have another girl out of the New England area.
Rashida Ellis.
Rashida Ellis is a monster.
Oh, and you mentioned the last two. O'Shea Jones, obviously her brother's Otha, who's a big prospect with Matchroom and Split T, and Ellis, who's for Rashidi and Ronald Ellis. I believe that's their sister as well, right?
It is, and then also you have Otha Jones, who is obviously the trainer of O'Shea, the dad. He also works for Split T, and I'm not giving him a commercial. You know what I mean? This is not, I'm not going to ask for donations. I thought it was a trash. I'm not asking for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Roshan's going to see this one too. So.
Yeah, no. So what Otha is the chief recruiter for Split T Management. He does a hell of a job, and he does a hell of a job training, man. He trains Charles Conwell, Isaiah Steen, and he has a ton of other great talent in that gym there in Ohio.
So do you attribute that to the female boxing has been in the last couple Olympics? Is that what you attribute, that more girls now are coming through the Olympics, which is providing, more depth, in the women's game?
I think so. I think since there's more interest now. So if people might not watch professional female boxing because it's not accessible, it's getting more accessible now. But especially now that they know about Clarissa Shields, they know about Katie Taylor, people paying more attention. Now these young girls are getting into a sport that they thought was male dominated. You know what I mean? They're actually seeing that they could be really successful at it. So I'm excited. I went pro right when they put the women's boxing in the Olympics. I was kind of heated, but I don't have a amateur style, so it is what it is. But I like the talent, man. There's so many young little girls too, like 10, 12, 13, 14, and they're good. Really, really talented.
We got about 10 minutes left here. So
yo, I'm sorry. We got over 10 minutes. We're going to extend the time. Facebook Live. We're going over the time, buddy. Sorry. We don't got 10 minutes. We got more than that.
All right, fine. Whatever you say.
Thanks, buddy.
I just can't put it on Instagram after because 10 more minutes.
All right. We got 10 minutes.
Plus, I'm sure you got better things to do than talk to me, right?
I don't. We finished training for the day. She just got done working out, breaking her clavicle. She's good. I trained earlier.
No, I do doing cleans when I hit my collarbone.
It's all right. Collarbone is all right. It's fine. We're good. We'll put a little barbecue sauce and eat that son of a bitch. We're good.
When this thing,
you had a nap. I apologize.
I had a nap. I am sorry.
When this thing is over, the pandemic is over, do you expect that you'll be called for a fight? Maybe 3-4 weeks. Is that what you think may happen?
I hope so. I mean, things are just put on hold, and we had the show canceled but postponed. So once they start lifting things, I know how they work. You know what I mean? They're gonna definitely keep me busy, get me active as soon as possible. And then we had another fight scheduled, so hopefully they'll figure that out too. I hope so. That's why I'm staying in the best shape I can now. Obviously, I'll need to have a camp of some sort, sparring, and kind of get going again. But that's what I'm doing. What I do in between fights now. Anyway, I'm just staying active as much as possible and just. We'll see what happens. It could be next month. It could be next year. Who knows right now? So.
And I have to say this too about her promoter as well. The good thing about Blue is listen, man, Blue's a guy. He's a regular old guy, man. I'll shoot him a text message. What's up, big fella? You know what I mean? How you doing? And he just gets right back to you. He's more personable. You know what I mean? She had a promoter before. He only knew 2 women boxers. He knew Clarissa Shields and Katie Taylor. You know what I mean? Now, you talk women's boxing with Lou. Lou could, you know what I mean? Lou is like talking to me.
I mean, when I went to the fights, to Alicia's fight, he wanted to know my opinion on what I thought about the fights. What do you think about Alicia's opponent? What do you think? How do you think things are gonna go? Like, yeah, you can actually sit and have a conversation with him about boxing, and because I love boxing, it's cool to have. I mean, there's no egos there. Nobody's trying to puff out their chest. You don't gotta
Yeah, he's not trying to say it with your chest. I'm trying to do that.
It's comfortable, and I like that. I like laughing, I like joking, I like, obviously business is business, and he knows his business as well as being able to be approachable and personable. So,
Brian, your brother Joe's been wanting to fight me for about 12 years. He won't stop. Can you tell him to stop it already? Tell him to beat somebody.
Man, we had an anti-bullying campaign. You can join. Leave Mark Abrams alone.
You running the bully clan? What you mean anti-bully?
I know when
the only time I just had surgery a month ago, so I guess that's when he wants to get me now. I'm like in my recovery period.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. I got your back.
I don't stay up at night thinking about him. Anyway, a couple questions from Blanca again. Kelly, what's your favorite punch? Can you say what did you drop Cecilia with?
I dropped her with an overhand right, and that left hook was coming, but she was already down. So I gotta say, overhand right and my left hook. That's my favorite combination. But that overhand right is something to be reckoned with, I guess.
And to quote Roy Jones, boom, there go the right hand.
Yeah, I mean,
boom.
There's so many varieties of how I throw it, especially because I'm a shorter middleweight. So for being in the wrong weight class for most of my career, I've kind of mastered that throwing that overhand right. So that's my favorite punch. But I got a big toolbox. So those of y'all who are watching that you think you're gonna fight me and you think I only have a right hand, you got a lot. You got a long night.
That shit is like Home Depot now.
It's gonna be a long night for whoever I fight next. Like I said, we just keep working, we just keep learning, and I'm loving the tools that I have. You know what I mean, and just being with a cool team.
And let me say this: the good thing about her is, listen, man, she'll watch boxing all day with me. So what we do is, you know what I mean, like we'll sit right here, put her little computer on. We'll chop it up. Yo, she's amazed at the Ike Ibiabuchi and David Tua fight. You know what I mean? Back in the day, we watched. We watched Trinidad. We watched Meldrick Taylor.
I guess the other night at ESPN they had like 11 straight hours of Ali and Frazier.
We watched everything already. That's the thing. So it was like we would have rocked. That would have been like the 5th time we've seen it in a row.
Yep.
So she's a student and she's like a big old sponge with pretty hair, and she just stops it all up. You know what I mean? And
dreads. I stop it up.
Yeah, it just holds a lot of water and stuff. So, but when you tell her something, and when you teach her something in the gym, she's a perfectionist, and she really takes time to hone her craft, and that's why I say, and that's why and let me segue in. That's why I do like working with a lot of females, because they're so ambitious to prove themselves. They'll do whatever they have to do to prove themselves, and be it going up 3 weight classes, be it dropping down 2 weight classes. You know what I mean? So they don't get the respect that they need and or deserve.
Marshall wants to know, what do you think of Alicia Baumgartner, a good young fighter who he promotes?
I love Alicia. My fighter.
I had to spar with her. She can crack.
My fighter was actually the first fighter to defeat her, being Christina Linardatu. But with that being said, Christina went on to be a 2-time WBO champion. Alicia has all the tools. She's strong. She's marketable as a mug, right? And she could punch. But yeah, no, Alicia is definitely going to be a force to reckon with in the 130-pound, even if she wants to go to 135 because she's so muscular in those divisions. And she's going to be.
She's hungry.
Yeah, she's going to be a future world champion.
I like her attitude. She's really hungry. You know what I mean? She does. Yeah. She puts in the work, and she her head's down, and she just works. And like I said, I had the opportunity to spar with her when I was sparring with Ivana. Habazan, she was in the gym, so I gave her a couple rounds after we finished sparring, and she can crack for a weight division. I was like, girl, I messed somebody up. So she
got nice baby hair.
She definitely gonna do some damage though.
Nice. Marshall also said that the women are better listeners than men, so as well.
Listen, Marshall has been wanting to promote females for quite some time, and they listen and like if you have a guy that's fighting at 154 and the opponent wants to come in at 155, you got to split atoms to get the other guy to take it at 155, man. But with these females, if you say, listen, There's a fight at 142. I know you weigh 150 right now. Can you please lose 8 pounds? Yes, no problem. You know what I mean? So it's just they're just a lot easier to deal with, and that's why, like, presently I have 17 of them. I manage 17 females under the split team management banner.
And that actually is going to segue into one of our final questions.
Oh no, it's not going to be a final question. We're going overtime.
Well, okay, then we'll go overtime.
No,
doesn't matter to me. What right off the top, when this thing finally gets out, the coronavirus pandemic, what do you see for yourself? Kind of what couple, 2, 3, 4 girls that you want to get in right away?
Well, I have to. So we had a card February 8th in Indiana, and I actually had 6 females fight on one card. You know what I mean? So all those fighters can kind of relax for a little bit, because so now I have to go to next in line. Obviously she's up next. I got to get Ronica Jeffrey going, who is an absolute talent. And if she had a male appendage, I'd be a millionaire. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know Ronica Jeffrey, and if you haven't seen her, if you don't know about her, YouTube her. She is an amazing fighter. Ronica is. She is. I mean, she is. She's a 5-time. She has 5-time champion. Like I said, if she had a male appendage, be a millionaire. You know what I mean? Can counterpunch, can box, can do whatever. So it would be her, Ronica. Boy, who else? I would have to get Natalie Gonzalez going. Natalie Gonzalez, unfortunately, is in a bad weight class at 109 pounds. So the pickings are really slim. So I kind of got to get those 3 moving skedaddle.
Just got another question here from Robert Cartagena. What are Brian and Kelly's thoughts on the Alejandra Jimenez controversy?
Big Al. Go ahead. I'll let you take that one for a minute, then I'll chime in afterwards.
I mean, what as far as what? Like they shouldn't let her fight, or it's her dirty urine, not dirty, this dirty. I mean, she used illegal drugs. I don't know what the pronouns are, but they used illegal drugs, so they should strip her, them. I don't know.
I mean, listen, Big Al. I don't know what to, I don't even know what the WBC stripped Big Al yet.
No, they did.
Yeah, I believe they did.
Oh, they did finally?
You sure? You sure they did?
I believe they gave the belt back to Franchon.
What?
Oh, they finally did.
Oh, did they? I thought they gave her the WBO belt back and not that belt.
Yeah, the WBO. I don't know. I know it was a WBO.
Yeah, see, you're talking about a lot of malarkey going on. Shout out to Dan Malarkey.
Waiting on the WBC, because the WBO did what they needed to do. Now, WBC, because they had their Mexican fighter and they're all pro-Mexican. We be crooks, so I'm very partial to WBC. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I think. Whoa. I'm just gonna be real. Mauricio knows how I feel.
Shade over here.
He's kind of treated. He doesn't. If you're not Mexican and you're a non-Mexican fighter, I noticed, especially winning the WBC, you get treated like shit. I'm just gonna say that straight up. Because when I won it, Mauricio went on Twitter without seeing the fight and tweeted, "Oh, we're gonna look into the judges. We don't think that fight was fair." Mind you, nobody even saw the fight yet. He just went on what Mauricio was saying. So the way they treat other people is not. I don't think it's fair. So I hope justice gets served and the WBC belt goes back to Franchon and Big Al doesn't use illegal drugs. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, all kidding aside, Franchon does deserve her belt back, and if Big Al could lay off the Canelo meat, maybe she'd be good. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's busting that Canelo meat out. She got it from the same.
I mean, what's fair is fair. Yeah. If you got illegal drugs in your system, you shouldn't be competing. If that's what you need,
I agree with that.
I'm here to agree, man. That's good.
Canelo.
So since we're gonna go a little bit extra, we'll take a step back. So Kelly, what brought you to the sport of boxing?
Always been really sporty. I didn't think boxing was in a state like Rhode Island until I actually started learning about the Vinny Paz, Jamie Clanford, Missy Carantino's. But I've always been a little fighter. Always been, fighting in the street. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. Have 2 brothers. Wanted to do what they did. I ended up finding boxing after a couple of things happened, and I needed an outlet. And I always liked the solo aspect of boxing, as far as I went through a lot of stuff as a kid. I had trust issues, but with boxing, if you don't do something, it's your ass. You have to trust yourself, and there's nobody else to blame but you. So just having that draw to that fight, but also being a very artsy person, I also look at it as an art. It's like a calm chaos. So just a way to express. And when I walked into the gym, when I went for our first boxing workout, that was the only time that I could quiet my head because there was a lot of shit going on up in there, and that was the only place where everything kind of just was that moment. So kind of walked in there, took some classes. Peter Manfredo Sr., he actually kind of took a liking to me in the classes. He kind of did a little bit more one-on-one, and then I started training with Dr. Roland Estrada, Jason Estrada's father. My very first fight, I got my ass whooped by some older lady, and it was either I could have said, all right, I'm done with this, I don't want to get my ass beat, or my thought was, well, how do I make that not happen again like that? I don't want it to happen again. I just kind of got obsessed with it, and all down and up the hill and all right around from there.
So when you were starting out, someone would have told you, hey, in some years you're going to be fighting on HBO against the girl who they're going to say is the world's best fighter. What would you have told me if I told you that, like when you were just starting out?
I would have said, let me know, time and place. I had those aspirations of winning the WBC belt, that green and gold belt. I wanted to be the best. I have my own reasons of why I fight now. I kind of found bigger reasons outside myself other than just, being the best or whatever. But I would have believed him. It would have been a little bit harder to swallow back then, but I would have said, all right, because I'm very goal-oriented, and if somebody tells me I can't, then I got to prove them I can. So
how many more years you feel you can do this?
Well, according to this guy, I'm going to be doing wheelchair boxing. When I first started, I gave myself until I was 36, 37. I'm 33 now, but he thinks I'm going to fight until I'm 50 years old. I don't know. I'll stop when I'm finished. I think I got a good 5-6 years left in me. There's hot competition coming up. I'm not going to go out, gracefully. I'm going to get everything I need to get out of this sport. And I think I'd be doing everybody else, including myself, a disservice if I left prematurely. So.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Brian?
Yeah.
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 So every time we can shut them up, I guess.
Well, you know what it was? I was actually holding my breath when you asked when she was going to retire, because if she would have said sometimes too, I was going to cry. So I feel relieved.
If things didn't end up being how they are now, if I didn't get signed to the Bella and I didn't feel like I had a good team, I probably would have just, the next couple of years, I would have said, yeah, you know what? I've accomplished a lot. I've accomplished a lot more than what I set myself out to get. So I would, if I had to retire for whatever reason now, I wouldn't be mad. I accomplished a lot, but I know my ceiling is way up there. I haven't even reached my prime yet, and that's pretty scary for everybody else.
Mark, what's funny with her is, this is like her second career. You know what I mean? So this is like her. There was no game plans. There was nothing. She was just going in there and fighting and trying to beat the dog shit out of people. Like she said, and I'm not, patting myself. I'm not patting Danny Davis. She's got a team now, and she's got a whole team behind her. She never had that. So you look at her losses. Her losses are to all world champions in their hometowns. So what does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? She's a tough girl. But now, like I said, man, she has a team behind her. And the sky's the limit, man.
I mean, even before, it's not even that I didn't have, I have support back home, but I didn't have that one-on-one that somebody could actually have the time to break things down and come up with game plans. I have the support back home, but it was, a lot of people needed that attention from those coaches back home all at the same time. So having that one-on-one and really having a game plan, and I'm dedicated to a fault sometimes, so they know, okay, it's fine. She's going to go running. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to make her weight. So I really didn't get those eyes on me like I could have, like I have here.
One good eye, one crooked eye.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck
Who are some of who are some of your favorite fighters to watch?
You got it. But what are you, heavyweight, middleweight, 80s, 90s?
Whoever.
Thousands.
I mean,
we like making up fights. We'll watch fights and just start naming it like an 80s fighter versus somebody now. That's like
we'll be like it's like Joe Frazier versus Holyfield. Boom, who you like in that fight? Or you'll do like David Tua versus Mike Tyson, or you know what I'm saying?
I love watching Hagler. I love watching Pernell Whitaker. I love Meldrick Taylor now. That's one person I've grown to like. I love watching anybody and everybody. If there's something specific that I want to learn that day or just kind of pay attention to, I'll go through a Rolodex. But I really appreciate the bad fights.
Yeah.
They're fun, man.
Like my thing is like Mike Tyson, obviously, because he's a little Shangad. You know what I mean? Roy Jones, just because of his whole skill level. Marvin Hagler, just because he was a monster, man. I like Meldrick Taylor, Pernell Whitaker. I like the guy, like a lot of guys in the '80s. And obviously, Roy Jones was in the '80s, but
it's a different breed back.
Yeah, just I like those guys. I don't, that's what I like.
All right. Well, I think we got a good hour and 10 minutes in here.
Yeah, we got an hour and 10 minutes. Your wife needs to bring you another bottle of water. You're looking parched. I think you need to take another sip of water.
I have a full bottle. Yeah. I'm always hydrated.
All right, there you go. So you always gotta stay hydrated, baby.
I hear you.
Hey.
Anything you guys want to say in closing? First, ladies first, Kaylee.
Well, thank you for having us on. Thank you for not being too afraid to put us two loose cannons on your show. Appreciate it. And I don't know. Say everybody take it one day at a time with this craziness, and we're gonna get through it and be back.
Please, I've hung out with Brian. He's a pussycat.
Everybody, see, now that's the thing. Well, Mark, don't tell nobody. Everybody gets this impression of me because they see this high energy person. But when I love somebody, I love somebody. When I care for somebody, I care for somebody.
Everybody thinks I'm mean until they talk to me.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, man, like I just want to say, like with my fighters, with the ones that I manage, I care about them. I don't want to put them in a fight to get hurt. Obviously, you're going to get punched in the face, but I never want to see a fighter get seriously injured or anything like that. So, all kidding aside. If you're a fighter out there looking for a manager, make sure you have a manager that cares for you. Make sure you have a promoter that cares for you. Make sure there's a vision for your career. Because
if there's someone who wants a manager, how can they find you?
Get a hold of her. No. I mean, you can hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah, both of you. What's the social media? Where do we find both of you on social media?
Facebook, KO-Kaylee Reis, and I'm always on Instagram, KO _NDNBXR. So that's where I do most of my promotion and keeping up on the everyday life and the world of KO. And Twitter, I'm not much of a tweeter. It's KO _MOC86.
That's official.
And you, Bionic Bull?
Bionic Bull _215 on Instagram, and then my name, Brian Cohen, on Facebook. You know what I mean? And I extend the courtesy to any boxer or amateur boxer that needs advice, and that's not meaning me to manage them. If they have questions about a contract or something, just hit me up, because I hate to see fighters get screwed, blued, and tattooed.
Now is that from like you being a fighter? I mean, is that?
Yeah, and then that's another thing. Again, man, I was the guy that used to do 3 a day. So I wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, go running, go to work, go to the gym, then do my strength and conditioning. And I hate to see fighters be put in bad situations. So again, nothing. I extend the courtesy to any fighter that needs help or has a question. Just reach out to me. I don't want anything. I don't want 10%. I don't want 5%. If you have a question, just ask, and I'm happy to answer.
Speaking of questions, Robert Cartagena, would Kaylee be interested in fighting Delphine Persoon?
Delphine Persoon is like 135. What the hell do I look like?
I'm just reading the questions.
No, I'm not in. She's not in my weight class.
Delphine Persoon's last fight was 130, so she fought 130 actually in her last fight.
130, 135, right?
She fought 130. She fought Helen at 130.
Okay, yeah.
But she's a former lightweight champ. That's the one. Obviously the one that lost to Katie Taylor. She's a little too light, man. And to be honest with you, I don't see anybody in America paying for that fight. And I'm not going to take her to Belgium to go over there and fight. I've been there twice already, and it's just a bunch of.
Food's good.
Yeah, the food is good, man. You know what I mean? The food is good.
They got waffles there, right?
The waffles are banging. I snuck them home in my suitcase. My daughter sniffed them out like a German Shepherd. You go over there, and say if you fight for a WBC title, the WBC rules are different in Europe than they are here. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know that, you don't know that. And then it's just I wouldn't take her anywhere to go fight. I'm not going to
Way
take a
too
risky
late.
fight with her because she done took a lot of risky fights in her career.
Risky for my heart. I can't make 130.
Yeah, no. So everything with her right now is calculated. It's a risk at a certain point, but everything is calculated with her. You know what I mean? So
I had mentioned that I'd like to fight her if I was in a weight class. Like if it was a smaller body, I would like to fight, of course.
I mean, she could come up to the 140s. Yeah, I mean, she'll tattoo it. You know what I mean? But not at 130. She can't suck down to 135. Not at all. You know what I mean?
I'll die.
Yeah, I have to cut a thigh off or something,
Yeah,
like
no.
a shoulder.
Wait,
How's that water? Good.
It's good.
All right.
your part.
You guys are making me sweat, so I gotta drink
Are
here.
you nervous?
You're making my eyes hurt.
All right, well, I will let you two kids go. I know you got early workouts tomorrow.
So I wake up when I wake up, and then I'm not on a schedule. That's the one luxury about being on this quarantine. I go to sleep when I go to sleep, wake up. I still do my work every day, like go do running, sprints, and work out, but I'm not on the schedule.
And another thing about this whole quarantine, we're the only two that are not going crazy because, to be honest with you, when she's in training camp, I'm in training camp too. So all we do is go to the gym, come home, do our running, maybe our strength and conditioning, go to the supermarket anyway, right?
Watch boxing.
Yeah, so I'm fine with this.
You bring your mask and gloves and everything. Stay 6 feet apart from people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 feet apart.
It's so
it's just weird, man. It's
It is
weird.
It is weird.
I just prefer zombies. Like if we're gonna do this, let's do it.
Yeah, I'd rather have an apocalypse.
I keep thinking of the REM song. It's the end of the world as we know it.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a good song.
Yeah, good
Go
song.
back.
Well, actually, you know what? The thing is something. See all these questions come on. A lot of people think that they'll be fighting in front of no fans at least to start. Kaylee, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, the way things are going, and there's so many possibilities of what this really is and what it's really not. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna probably start off with maybe like a capacity really, really low. Maybe like the last fight that was on where it was just the officials and family. They might. I think we're not gonna just jump right into a full standing room only.
No. But I'm saying, what would your thoughts be fighting in front of like an empty building?
Oh, that's what it is. It'll be like sparring. I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean,
she can hear us yelling better.
I don't hear anybody anyway. I mean, I don't think that's going to take away from my performance at all whatsoever. I just think it's not going to go back to a full house. So
doesn't like the crowd? Don't you feed off the crowd a little bit though, and like the adrenaline and whatnot?
Yeah, and no. I mean, my big thing is my entrance and how I come out and why I fight and all that. I mean, I definitely feed off of that energy. I do feed off the crowd here and there, but honestly, I'm so like laser focused. I've always been laser focused, and I don't hear the crowd. I'm not a big showboater. I kind of I have a job to do in there. I want to hear my Cohen. I want to hear my coach. I want to, be able to use my boxing IQ in the ring. I'm not just aimlessly throwing punches. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't bother me at all.
It's the first person in the world who said that they want to hear Danny Davis.
You don't yell.
No, Danny don't yell.
My cousin and Brian yell.
Yeah, usually the point has to get across to me yelling it to her. Danny's very quiet and serene, but once he gets in the corner, uses words like bobblehead and
He
stuff
starts
like that.
making up words. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
When he
shit.
starts making up words, which I'm surprised nobody made a meme out of yet.
She bobbleheaded.
Look, Kate, she bobbleheaded. Danny, what's bobbleheaded mean? She hurt. So
Yeah, no, my corn is smooth, but it's funny. It's like everybody has a big personality, like as far as funny. Yellow character.
Anything you want to say in closing out there to the people?
No, thank you for listening. I'm an open book. Y'all got questions? I always do Q&As on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. So hit it up, ask questions.
if you like this interview, like, share, and subscribe to Mark Abrams Boxing.
There you go.
And if you have, like I said, and again, all kidding aside, the courtesy is extended to any fighter that has needs help with the contract, amateur, professional, kickboxer, MMA, jack of all trades, master of all.
There you have it. This is we're gonna be doing this a lot. Maybe we'll get some more Brian's fighters out there. We'll get Kaylee on again. We'll do a lot of great interviews. Kaylee, Brian, I appreciate the time. Hour and 13 minutes. I didn't mean to keep you this long.
We enjoyed it. We like talking to you. You got that cute smile. You're drinking Deer Park. You got the boxing hat on. You got a lot of things working for you there. The sexy headphones.
There we go. Got the Wilder Fury T-shirt. I was at the fight.
Yeah. Oh, throw that in there. Yeah, I was there.
There you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful night. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
thank you.
I'll talk to you, Mark.